All right, let's see if we are live. As soon as I get a confirmation that we are live, we'll start things off. And I think we are live now. All right, so hello and welcome to pmclounge.com. Today we are discussing Project Management Office, and we've been discussing the elementary topics of project management. In our past video, we talked about project management itself. What is a project? What is project management? Who is a project manager? And today you will learn everything that you need to know about project management office. Now, we've been receiving a lot of requests to do such elementary, such fundamental topics in the form of videos. So we are bringing all of these to you. But I would like to remind you, if you go over to pmclounge.com, you should be able to find article and videos on such topics already available there as well. But just in case you don't want to do that, stick around with me till the end and you will get to know everything that you need to know about project management office. This is an elementary topic again, and if you are starting off in your career as a project manager, or if you want to transition to project management office is actually a really good concept to know. Because if you are, let's say, someone who has less than 5 years of work experience and who wants to get into project management, a PMO officer or a junior PMO, right? Someone who works in the project management office alongside the other senior project managers. That is a great role to look out for if you want to get into the world of project management, right? So let's start things off. Basically a quick introduction. I started my career in project management in 2011. I have a lot of certifications, and then there are some organizations that I've worked with as a trainer, mentor, and a speaker. All right, what is pmclounge.com? PMC in PMC Lounge stands for Project Management Certifications. Always keep that in mind. And then our aim is to simplify project management. That is what we want to do. That is the reason why you are seeing videos on elementary concepts again, just on the demand of our subscribers and viewers. But if you go over to our YouTube channel, our playlists, you will find that we have actually covered all concepts that there is to know to pass your PMP exam, prepare for your PMP, and even other certifications as well, your CSM, ACP, CAPM, everything has been covered on this channel in the past as well. So definitely subscribe to stay in the know and stay abreast with what's happening in the world of project management. One thing I would like to remind you here is that there are two stages that we deal with. One is someone who is a PMP aspirant, someone who's trying to get themselves a certification. So, from this aspirant position to the certified position, right? So, that's one stage that we deal with, and you will find a lot of videos on our channel focusing just on this stage. This video right here, Project Management Office, also focuses on this stage. But then you will find other videos on this channel, especially things like our podcast, where we interview experts in the field of project management. And you will find that is the kind of content which resonates with the second stage, which is someone who is already certified and wants to get into that excellence level of project management, right? So, a certified project manager to an excellent project manager, an alpha in the industry, right? In the domain of project management. So, we have that kind of content as well. So, both kind of content is what you will find on PMC Lounge. So, definitely subscribe. We are also available on all the socials: Facebook, Instagram, not Instagram, this is LinkedIn. We are not on Instagram. So, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and we also have our Telegram and WhatsApp channels. All right, so let's kick things off with the agenda for today. We have 8 chapters to cover about PMO. We'll go from the introduction of PMO to the types of PMO, something new around agile structures when it comes to PMO, how PMOs evolve. We will look at an at a practical example which is going to help you understand what PMO is, and then we'll conclude. You can take a look at the agenda, pause this video for a second if you want to go over again. But let's kick things off with an introduction to PMO. You can think of a project management office as a headquarter, and this headquarter does one thing: it manages all things that are related to projects in an organization. So instead of every project manager doing everything on their own to manage projects, the PMO helps standardize how things are done, like setting common rules for, let's say, project scheduling, setting common rules or templates for reporting, setting common rules or templates for documentation, right? So a PMO standardizes project practices across the organization. And you will now realize why I mentioned this is a great entry point if you want to get a job in the project management domain, because you could be a PMO officer, a junior PMO, working towards getting all these standardization in place, right? Creating templates, creating schedules, maybe doing some sort of communication which is common across the board, across all projects. So, stuff like that is something that you can get into as a junior officer in the project management office. So, that is why this video is important if you are trying to get into project management. All right, think of PMO as your project toolkit, support center. It provides ready to use templates. It can also recommend tools, and it can even offer coaching when you are stuck on planning or execution. And this is something that we have been seeing for some time now, especially in agile environments where the job of the PMO is also to coach scrum masters, coach agile project managers. So obviously PMOs, they act as a support system. They offer templates, tools, and coaching. PMOs are also not your, one size fits all. If you have smaller organizations in small teams, a PMO can just be one single person who is giving guidance. But in large organizations, you will see that the PMO is at an enterprise level. It is an enterprise PMO, which is also known as EPMO. And EPMOs govern dozens or even hundreds of projects. So PMOs are going to exist at different levels based on your organization. Within one large project, construction of a bridge, construction of a metro train in a city, right? So if that is the project, you will find that there is a very strong PMO required, right? But if it's a program related to mobile app development, which is something that we talked about in one of our previous videos, where you deal with different projects that are related to mobile app development, and yours is a relatively smaller organization, you might not need as many people in PMOs. But the fact is, if the program is large, then obviously you need a lot of people in PMOs, and PMOs is going to basically have a lot of power and responsibilities. PMOs can be at enterprise level as well. So PMOs are going to exist at different levels. What you're going to see mostly though is enterprise level PMOs. You are not going to, generally speaking, not going to find PMOs only at project level or only at program level. Although in certain service based companies, you will find PMOs that deal with specific client, and that's a specific project or a specific program, and the PMO takes care of just that. But in most companies out there that are not service based companies, you will see that there are enterprise wide PMOs that govern how projects should be managed across the whole organization. So obviously you would have understood by now that every project management office or PMO is different. Each PMO is different. Some are, advisory, some enforce rules, and some can, run projects directly as well. And we will look at that when we talk about the different types of PMOs as well. So, how a PMO works, it depends on what the organization needs the most. So, whatever that the organization needs from a PMO is what the PMO is going to be doing. The PMO's role varies based on organizational structure and the needs of the organization. So, why PMOs? Why do we actually need PMOs? We already have project managers who are supposed to be leading projects. Then, how come this whole PMO thing came into the picture, right? The biggest reason companies set up PMOs is to improve how projects perform. And that could mean fewer delays, that could mean fewer budget overruns, that could obviously translate into better results. So, PMOs help project outcomes in terms of cost, schedule, quality, scope, the triple constraint. But that is not all, right? PMOs also make sure that everyone is pulling in the same direction. If you imagine three different teams working on apps that serve the same purpose, that is not good use of resources, right? Because you have three different teams working on the same kind of apps and they might not even know each other. And that is quite possible in large organizations out there with 50,000 employees, right? But if you have an enterprise wide PMO, it is going to help align the work that these three different teams are doing to, to basically align with the broader business priorities and maybe shift resources as needed, change their scope as needed. So PMOs align projects with strategic business goals. So it's not just about the triple constraint. As I mentioned in the example, it is also about business goals. It is also about making sure that there's no repetition or there's no duplication of tasks across the organization. Okay, PMOs, they have visibility across all active projects and they can flag resource conflicts, they can detect duplicated efforts, and they can spot trends early. That these are the kind of things that individual project teams are not able to basically do. So as I gave an example, right, it is possible that there are three different teams working on similar kind of apps, but they just don't know each other. And this is where PMOs come into the picture. They have the visibility, they have the means to sort of align and coordinate these different kind of projects. They promote consistent practices and prevent repeated mistakes. This again ties back to the templates, ties back to the kind of repeatable results that PMOs can actually produce. It's all about templates, it's all about best practices. PMOs can help reduce common mistakes for sure. When you have templates, best practices, lessons learned that are going to be shared across different projects. So this is like learning from the company's history so that each project doesn't have to start from zero. And that is why PMOs are so important. PMOs also track whether projects deliver a real business value or not. It is all about business value. Project management is as much about value as it is about the triple constraints, your scope, cost, schedule, quality, right? The triple constraint is fine, but projects also have to deliver value at the end of the day, and PMOs can definitely help there. So PMOs, they can focus on outcomes. Did the project deliver real value to the business, right? Did it help meet a strategic goal that the organization has? So that's where PMOs actually truly shine. I'd like to pitch in our PM 101 training session here. It is a free 1.5 hours of project management training, absolutely free, as I mentioned. This training video is actually an absolute legend. It is by far the highest viewed project management basics training video on YouTube. You can check out the first link in the description below and go to this training session when you are done watching our ongoing PMO session. So let's continue our discussion on PMO. Let's talk about the different types of PMO. And Majorly, there are three types of PMO. First is supportive PMOs. They offer guidance, they offer templates, and they offer training without enforcing their use. So it's just like saying, hey, we have so and so training material, we have so and so templates. If you think it suits your project, you can make use of these resources as well. That's what supportive PMOs do. So they are like internal consultants, right? They say, here are the tools and advice you might need, but it's up to the teams whether they use them or not. This type of PMO is great for organizations that want some structure, but they also want flexibility, but because they realize that not all projects are going to be the same. Then there are controlling PMOs, and they enforce compliance with standards. They check whether processes are being followed or not. And controlling PMOs, they are obviously turning up the dial, right? Not only do they provide the tools and advice, but they expect teams to use them. They might run audits or require project plans to be approved. So these are the kind of controlling PMOs that you're going to find outside. Then there are directive PMOs. They directly manage the projects. They assign project managers to projects. So directive PMOs are basically the ones that take full ownership of project delivery. Project managers report to the PMO, and the PMO then assigns project managers to specific projects. This ensures very high consistency, but obviously it gives less freedom to individual departments. Now, in reality, what you're going to find out there is that organizations use a hybrid approach, and they mix these different types of PMOs as per their requirement. That's the reality, right? As an example, information technology or the IT department might follow a directive model, while marketing might follow a supportive PMO kind of model. Flexibility is the key here. Smash that like button if you are getting value so far. It helps us stay motivated and create more free content for you. Also, let me know in the comments, have you ever dealt with a PMO in your career? And if yes, what kind of PMO did you deal with? Was it a supportive PMO, a controlling PMO, or a directive PMO? All right, let's talk about the next topic, which is enterprise PMOs and some agile related structures that we are able to see these days. Now, as I mentioned, enterprise PMOs or EPMOs are basically enterprise level PMOs. So it's just one PMO across the whole enterprise. So obviously, this is a big deal. This is where the power lies, right? So, enterprise PMO, they sit at the very top. It ensures that all projects across the company ladder up to the strategic priorities are being basically taken care of. This could be expanding into new markets, it could be launching a big new product. Everything comes under the EPMO. They operate at the highest level, they align all projects with strategic goals. So they are the ones that are operating at the highest level here. In companies that use agile or they operate at the speed of startups, you might find ACOE or the Agile Center of Excellence. This is also known as VDO, Value Delivery Offices. And their job is to coach teams instead of managing them. So we talked about EPMO, how they are at the topmost level. They are the ones that are managing projects. They are the ones that are managing project managers. But then you have VDO, Value Delivery Offices, or Agile Centers of Excellence, specifically on organizations that are small or that follow the Agile way of delivery. And they are the ones that are coaching teams, not just Scrum Masters and project managers, they are coaching everyone. So instead of managing projects, they help teams build agile skills, and they adapt quickly, and they make sure that the teams manage projects themselves, right? So agile is all about being self sufficient, and that's where this whole concept of ACOE and VDO comes into the picture. Now, these structures work well in fast-paced settings. The focus is on enabling success. The focus is not on dictating how things are to be done. So, obviously, anywhere you see flexible fast moving organizations, it is likely that you will not find PMOs there. You will find videos or ACOEs there, which are a different type of PMOs, but it is always good to know what they do. Now, PMOs, they can be layered, that is enterprise level oversight plus department level support. All of that is possible. Large organizations might have a layered setup. That is what this means. So when you work in a very large organization with 50,000 employees, you will see that there is an EPMO, that is the enterprise level PMO, that is setting strategy, that is working with CXO level people. And then there are several lower level PMOs as well. And these lower level PMOs can be controlling, directive, supportive, depending on the kind of projects or programs that they are handling. And they support specific departments. They can support different departments like HR, IT as well. And this sort of creates a balance between high level alignment and then team level execution. So that is also something which is possible that you will be able to see in very large organizations out there. A quick reminder for our playlist section: if you're preparing for your PMP certification, our playlist section is actually an absolute gold. All the conceptual videos, they are all neatly arranged in playlists for you to prepare for your exam. The best part is that all of this is absolutely free, so definitely give this a watch. Okay, so here's the roadmap. We have already covered 4 chapters. Let's go ahead and talk about the capabilities of an effective PMO. What does it take for a PMO to be effective? Now, one of the most powerful things a PMO can do is grow project talent. Grow the talent in the domain of projects, right? In the domain of project management. This means offering workshops, tools, even certifications to build up project management skills or project skills across the entire company. PMOs build project management capabilities through training and coaching across the entire organization. So, obviously, within PMO, like if PMO has several project managers, if it is a directive kind of PMO or even a controlling kind of PMO that just does not have, you know, mid-level or junior level employees working in PMO, churning out templates and all that. If this is a large PMO which contains senior level project managers as well, the PMO is supposed to not just train all these people in project management, they are also supposed to train other team members from engineering, team members from programming, from development, from design team, from wherever they find people. They want that everybody understands at least the basics of project management, so that everyone knows why they are asked to do whatever that they are being asked to do by PMOs, and what and how it helps in managing projects at that level, right? So these PMOs can also act as a compass. If a project starts drifting from its original goal, if the PMO acts as a compass, the PMO steps in to realign it with the business, with whatever that the business actually wants to achieve. So they keep projects aligned with the organizational goals and priorities. That is what I'm trying to say. Every time a project sort of drifts somewhere else, the PMO is supposed to bring it back in line so that it aligns with the goals and priorities of the organization. Now, because PMOs collect insights from every project across the board, they also become the go to place for organizational memory. Now, what do I mean by organizational memory? What worked in certain projects 3 years ago, right? That's something your PMO will be able to explain and detail. They might even have that documented. What didn't work in a project we delivered last year? Again, that's something your PMO is going to tell you about. And when PMOs share this, it helps future projects avoid pitfalls, right? Similar mistakes are avoided. So PMOs enable knowledge sharing through lessons learned and best practices. PMOs also support governance and they improve the decision making with reliable data. So, lastly, PMOs bring structure to how decisions are made. They gather data, they highlight risks, they help executives make smarter choices about what to start, what to stop, and what to adjust. So, all of these are the capabilities of an effective PMO. This is what is essentially expected out of PMOs. You will see at a very senior level position of a director of PMO. You will see, I mean, look at your job openings, you will find director of PMO job openings out there. And these are the kind of capabilities that this person is supposed to inculcate in PMO to make sure that PMO is effective. Now, how do PMOs evolve? What are the trends? What are we actually seeing? So, today's PMOs, they don't just track timelines, they prioritize big game changing projects. So it's not just about, these are the 5 projects that our organization is working on, make sure that all of them are on track. No, it's not like that. It is out of these 5, what are the top 2 projects that deserve the best project managers, that deserve the best of all the other team resources, be it engineering, be it testing, be it analysis, be it designing, right? PMO is supposed to have that kind of data and is supposed to act in that way so that they prioritize what are the big game changing projects the company has. And it can include, digital transformation, it can include global expansion and whatnot. So modern PMOs, they focus on high impact strategic initiatives. It is not just about triple constraint, not just about making sure the project is delivered on time, within budget and on scope and all that, right? Now, PMOs aim for lightweight processes that support agility. This is a big shift that we are seeing across the board. The focus of PMO changing from these triple constraint to value generation to strategic alignment, and then the focus of PMO is changing from, these are the rules that you need to play by, this is what you need to follow, from here to agility, to how we can introduce lightweight processes to allow teams to deliver value quickly and without a lot of red tape. So instead of bogging teams down with approvals, the PMO focuses on creating just enough process to keep things moving efficiently. So that is something which we are seeing across the board how PMOs are evolving now. Modern PMOs, they also step into HR like role, like human resources like role, where they can help identify gaps in project leadership. They can even offer coaching, they can offer career growth programs for project managers. So PMOs are actively investing in recruiting and developing talent as well. So this is something new for the evolved PMOs, but PMOs are taking this challenge up as well. And above all, PMOs embrace change, and that is why we are here. If PMOs didn't embrace change, you would still have PMOs today who would just focus on making sure that the projects are delivered on time, on scope, on budget, and all that good stuff, right? That is not the case. PMOs change, they evolve with time, and that is the reason why we are seeing that PMOs champion change and they build a culture of outcomes, not just making sure projects don't fall in the triple constraint trap, right? PMOs help the organization to stay flexible. PMOs help organization to respond to market shifts. PMOs help organizations to focus on delivering real business value and not just ticking boxes, when it comes to project management. A quick reminder here about our YouTube membership program, which is known as VIP Pass. You get access to premium project management courses when you get our VIP pass. You have collaboration opportunities with me. You can also meet me for any kind of consultation related to your project management career, project management related certifications, and whatnot. All you need to do is go ahead, hit that join button, and see you on the other side. All right, let's talk about a practical example. Let's see PMO in action. So let's say your team just finished a massive data center project, a data center migration project, for example. Now, a good PMO would help document what went wrong and what went well in this project. So, they will work with the project manager to document the lessons learned basically. And this is something that they would do so that future data center migration projects do not repeat the same mistakes next time. So the PMO is going to capture all the lessons learned for future reuse. Now, PMO might also provide a standard project plan and standard project checklist so you are not starting from scratch the next time around, and that saves a lot of time during kickoff and during your whole project itself. So a PMO has overseen a data center migration project. They documented the lessons learned. They also made templates and checklists out of this project that was delivered so that the next time a data center migration project comes into the picture, you already have templates, you already have checklists, and project manager is basically not starting from scratch. Past problems, let's say there was a cooling issue in the data center, right? These are flagged early on new projects. So if the previous project of your data center migration or your data center had some cooling problems with some of the servers, the PMO can actually include a reminder in the checklist, double check the cooling system. And that is proactive risk management right there. Now, what's the result? Every future data center project starts with a very strong foundation. It is faster, it is smoother, it is much more consistent thanks to PMO because they are the ones who are ensuring consistency across all similar projects. Now, I just took an example of data center. It is possible that these kind of practices be applied to other type of projects as well. For any kind of project your organization does, the PMO can step in, the PMO can document lessons learned, the PMO can create checklists and templates, the PMO can also document what went wrong, what are some of the most common issues, and make sure that this is something that other teams are also taking care of in the future projects. All right, so let's tie things down. Let's conclude here to sum it all up. A PMO is like the nervous system of your project organization. It connects everything, it ensures consistency, and it keeps things running smoothly. Now, it is not just about templates. Remember that, although that is the most, I would say, easiest way to explain a PMO to a newbie would be, they take care of templates. But that is not what PMOs do. That is something that PMOs do, but it is not the only thing that PMOs do. It is not just about templates. It is about making sure that every project matters. It is about making sure that every project aligns with the organizational business goals, organizational strategy, and every project delivers value. Now, whether your PMO is supportive, controlling, or directive, because PMOs come in different types, right? Based on whatever the need of the control is, based on that, PMOs can come in different sizes, but PMOs can also be customized to fit what an organization needs most. And as the world changes, so do PMOs. This is something that you should understand. Whatever the PMOs that we are seeing today have evolved from last 20, 25, 30 years, right? Specifically in the IT industry. So you are seeing an evolved version of PMOs today. 25, 30 years down the line, PMOs might not look like what they look today. So PMOs do realize that world changes and PMOs change themselves. Also, Today, PMOs are more about people. Today, they are more about strategy. Today, they are more about outcomes versus paperwork. And that is what makes PMOs so important in modern project environments. So, that is all that we had in this video. I hope you were able to understand what a project management office really is and what are its key functions, what are its capabilities. Definitely subscribe. That's the only call to action that we have here. And you can keep learning by checking out other videos on our channel. I'll catch you guys in the next one.